I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the Strategy Room. Oregon is launching a first-in-the-nation program that charges car owners for the miles they drive rather than the fuel they use. It's called OreGo, and lawmakers believe this initiative can help the state raise more money to pay for infrastructure projects, as gas prices remain relatively low compared to previous years. Here with reaction are political strategist Basil Smikle Jr. and Flip Pidot. Welcome to you both.
Good to be here.
Well, this is a voluntary program for now. So, Basil, I mean, your reaction just to this new program.
I'm glad it's voluntary. I actually don't know what this kind of program is going to bring for the state. I mean, does it keep drivers from driving more? Could this money be spent to actually support infrastructure programs like mass transit programs? I don't know. Is it a disincentive for folks to get hybrid cars? Because it sort of hits them a little bit harder, and they were paying a premium on the car to get it to save money anyway in the long run. So I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm glad it's a voluntary program
for now.
For now,
yeah. Flip, what do you think?
It's somewhat ironic, really, because the government, state and federal governments, have spent so much time and so much legislative and regulatory effort trying to control behaviors and choices by consumers, away from fuel inefficient cars to hybrids to electrics to more fuel efficient gas powered cars, and this is sort of a problem arising from the success of that. In part, people are driving more efficient cars, people are driving more hybrids and electrics. So, I'm also glad it's voluntary. In addition to the unintended behavioral consequences it might have, or financial, or economic consequences in terms of the state's budget. You have to wonder about privacy concerns. There's an issue in terms of whether it's tied to GPS or
because they have
odometers.
This little thing that you hook up to your car and it shows you how many miles,
and if
then
it
they give you
a mandatory, then
rebate on the gas tax. Well, you bring up an interesting point, because gasoline will eventually go back up. The prices eventually, I mean, it can't imagine it going down. And as you mentioned, there'll be more hybrids and electric cars out there. So is this a way for the state to just get their tax in while the getting is good? The tax is in place. So when that change actually happens, when fewer people are using gasoline, they'll have the tax in place.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point, because as the state becomes comfortable with receiving this amount of money, are they going to all of a sudden say, okay, we're done, and then pull back? It's very, very, very difficult to do that. I mean, when you have tolls on bridges to solve, you increase them to solve budgetary gaps, you don't bring the tolls back down. They actually tend to go back up.
Yes.
And so I think that certainly is a huge problem.
Yeah. Do you see that? I mean, because the taxing is a way of the world. I mean, you're not going to get away with no taxing, and this is a way that governments pay for the infrastructure of roads and repair on roads and bridges and that sort of thing. So they need to get a tax at some point, and so you're going to see that in the future. Cars are going to be less dependent on gasoline.
Right. And state budgets are strapped, and this is another area that the state feels they can extract some revenue. And I don't think it's likely that we'll see, if the economic picture changes, they'll scrap this, go back to the other. This is a new tax. It's probably not an instead of tax. I mean, for now, the volunteers can get some kind of rebate on the fuel taxes that they also pay at the pump if they're participating in this program. But if fuel prices go back up, if the gas tax is not repealed completely in Oregon in favor of this program, I would think 5 years from now we'll see that they've got both.
Yeah, it's probably, and also this program, but is it fair to all types of drivers? Because right now you've got a kind of a fair amount of majority of gas, kind of a minority of hybrids and electric, but that number will grow. And then you've got people who are just holding on to their cars, the beater cars, and the classic cars that guzzle a lot of gas.
Actually, I think also about small business owners. If you really need your car to do business, or a truck or a van to do business, you can actually, if I remember correctly, deduct your mileage from your taxes. So does this added tax, if it becomes mandatory, actually sort of balance that out and make it neutral and sort of neutralize the benefit that you get for using your vehicle for business? So that's that's an interesting call that I don't know if they figured out, but we'll see down the road.
Yeah. Flip, we'll give you the last word here.
I would just say I fear any tax that's designed to influence consumer choices, and certainly this is one, and we won't know what the unintended consequences are going to be on public infrastructure, on state economics, on privacy concerns and data breaches until years down the road when it's probably too late.
Yeah, I think the state is betting that nobody's going to give up their car. Right. So at some point they're going to have to figure out a way to tax it.
Right.
Thank you so much, Flip and Basil. You want to check out foxnews.com for more on Oregon's program. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.